There's this very specific feeling you get when you're scrolling through real estate listings for Phuket. You see the photos, that infinity pool just merging with the sky, the clean white walls, the jungle in the background, and your brain just says, yes.
Hmm.
You're already mentally moving in. You can almost smell the sea salt.
Oh, yeah. It's the dopamine hit of the tropical dream. We've all been there. It's powerful.
But then, if you're a serious buyer, and I know our listeners are, you scroll past all the pretty pictures, you get to the numbers, and the purchase price is one thing, but then you see these other lines, cam fees, sinking funds, and the fantasy suddenly feels a bit bureaucratic.
That's where the brakes hit. Because those numbers, they're the difference between buying an asset and, frankly, buying a liability.
And that is exactly what we are digging into today. We're doing a deep dive into those unsexy recurring costs of owning property in Thailand. We're not talking about the view. We're talking about the invoice that comes every single month to keep that view looking good.
Which is so crucial because, in a tropical environment, maintenance isn't just mowing the lawn. It is a constant battle against nature.
To help us navigate this, we're using some really solid material today. We're pulling our insights directly from Ocean Worldwide.
A fantastic source for this specific market, yeah.
They're a luxury real estate agency right there in Phuket. And the reason I wanted to use their insights is, it's the longevity. Ocean Worldwide has been operating there since 2004.
Wow, since 2004, that's over 2 decades of data.
Exactly. And it's not a guess. They've seen a few economic cycles, a few government changes.
And more than a few rainy seasons. That matters.
For sure. And we're specifically looking at insights from Sandra O'Neill, the director there. Her team has helped thousands of families and investors over the years. So when they talk about what a normal fee is, it's based on 20 years of real deals.
So the mission for this deep dive is pretty simple then. We need to figure out if these fees are just, a foreigner tax to squeeze more money out of people.
Or if they're actually the only thing that's protecting your investment. Let's start with the big one, the CAM fee. Common Area Management Fee. I think most people get the idea of an HOA fee in the U.S. Is it basically the same thing in Thailand?
The concept is the same, yes. It's basically a shared household budget. But I would argue the stakes are much higher in a place like Phuket.
Higher how? What do you mean?
Well, think about a house in, say, Chicago. If you don't mow your lawn for a month, it just looks messy. Your neighbors might complain.
Right.
But if you don't properly maintain a swimming pool for 2 weeks in a tropical climate, it's a swamp. It turns green. It's full of algae. It's a breeding ground for mosquitoes immediately.
So it's a tropical acceleration. Everything just happens faster.
Exactly. And Ocean Worldwide makes a really strong point about this. When you buy into a managed development, you're not just buying the space inside your 4 walls. You're paying for the whole ecosystem around it.
Okay, so give me the list. What are we actually paying for with that campy?
It's a long list. You've got the obvious stuff, the swimming pools, the gyms, the lobbies, corridors, elevators. But then you have the entire operational backbone. Security guards, receptionists, waste disposal.
Pest control.
Oh, absolutely. Pest control.
But let me push back on that a bit. I've seen listings where the fees seem aggressive. I'm looking at a number thinking, I could hire my own gardener for half of this.
That's a super common thought, but it's a misconception. Sure, you could hire a guy to cut the grass for cheap, but are you also hiring a certified team to manage the pool's chemical balance so you don't get sick?
Okay, good point.
Are you hiring a security team that works 24/7 with proper shift changes, uniforms, and someone monitoring the CCTV? It's the whole infrastructure, not just one
It's
task.
about a standard of service.
Exactly. Sandra O'Neill calls it paying for quality of life. If you stop paying, the guard leaves. Then the gate breaks, the pool turns green, and all of a sudden your luxury villa is just a concrete box in a neglected lot.
Grim picture. So let's break down the line items. Ocean Worldwide highlights. Security was at the top.
Right. And security in these places isn't just a guy at a gate. It's active patrols. It's the constant maintenance of electronic access key cards, maybe even fingerprint scanners.
And all the cameras.
All the CCTV, yes. And remember where we are. Phuket is an island. Salt air.
Ah, the rust factor.
Salt air just eats electronics for breakfast. It corrodes everything. So a big chunk of that budget is just keeping the tech running, replacing cameras. That costs real money.
I hadn't thought of that. Okay, next up they list cleanliness. Seems basic.
Again, think tropics. It's a constant battle against grime. In a humid climate, mold grows on everything. Exterior walls, pool decks, ceilings.
So it's not a once-a-week dusting.
It's daily combat. constant pressure washing and scrubbing just to keep the property looking clean and white.
Then there's landscaping. And looking at the photos on the Ocean Worldwide site, that's a huge part of the appeal. These places are like botanical gardens.
And that's expensive. The source material calls this the tropical factor. Everything grows at hyperspeed. You aren't just mowing a lawn, you are actively holding back the jungle.
So it's aggressive gardening.
It really is. And there's a safety element people forget. Coconut trees.
Coconut trees. How is that a safety issue?
Look, if you've got these beautiful 10-meter-high coconut palms lining your pool, you need professional arborists to climb up and denut them regularly. A falling coconut can kill someone.
Wow.
It's a massive liability. So the fee pays for people to manage that so the tropical vibe doesn't give you a concussion.
Honestly, never occurred to me. Which I guess leads right into their next point. Pest control.
Absolutely non-negotiable. Termites, ants, mosquitoes, it's just a reality of the climate. You can't just treat your own apartment. The entire building needs a perimeter defense.
So if the common areas aren't treated, the pests will find their way to you no matter what.
They absolutely will. It doesn't matter how clean you are inside your unit. You are basically funding the defense budget against nature.
And utilities. I'm paying my own electric bill, right?
For your own unit, yes.
Yeah.
But who pays for the air con in the lobby? Or the massive pumps that cycle the pool water all day? Or the lights in the parking garage?
The invisible bill.
It's huge. For a large complex, the common area electric bill can be tens of thousands of dollars a month. That gets shared across all the owners.
And finally, staffing. The human element.
The soft infrastructure. You need a building manager, someone who speaks both English and Thai, who can handle contractors and government rules. You need accountants, receptionists to take your packages.
It sounds like you're basically running a hotel.
That's a perfect way to put it. A high-end condo is a hotel where the guests just never leave. And if you cut the staff budget, the whole experience just collapses.
Okay, that's the CM fee, the monthly payment to keep the lights on. Now, we have to talk about the other term that scares people, the sinking fund.
Ah, yes. The rainy day fund.
It sounds so ominous, like you're just throwing money into a hole.
It's actually the opposite. It's the money that stops the building from sinking. Ocean Worldwide has a great analogy for this. Car maintenance versus car repair.
Okay, break that down.
The CAM fee, what we just discussed, that's your oil change, your car wash, tire rotations, regular expected stuff to keep the car running smoothly.
Routine.
The sinking fund is the savings account for when the transmission blows up, or the engine cracks,
The big catastrophic stuff.
or just the inevitable expensive stuff. Buildings wear out. It's physics. After 15 years, the roof is going to need replacing. The elevators will need a major overhaul. The whole building needs to be repainted.
And a new elevator system is not cheap.
We are talking millions of bytes. So if you don't have a sinking fund, what happens when the main elevator dies?
I assume they just ask all the owners for money.
Exactly. They issue a special assessment, and you get a letter under your door on a Tuesday saying, "Hi, please transfer $5,000 by Friday for the new lift."
That is a complete nightmare. I'd be furious.
And that's the reality in a building with no sinking fund. The fund is there to smooth out those huge financial shocks. You usually pay a lump sum when you buy, and then a small portion of your monthly fee keeps topping it up.
So it's basically forced savings for the building.
And it's legally distinct. In Thailand, the sinking fund and the SAM fees have to be in separate bank accounts. You cannot use the sinking fund to pay the security guard. It's only for capital improvements and major repairs.
That's important, so management can't just dip into it for daily expenses.
Precisely. It protects the long-term integrity of your investment.
Okay, I get why it's necessary, but how do they calculate it? Does the developer just pick a number out of thin air?
No, there's a standard formula. It's the per square meter method.
Walk me through the math.
It's pretty simple. They estimate the total costs to run the building for a year. Then they divide that number by the total saleable square meters of the entire project. That gives you a rate per square meter.
Got it.
So if the rate is, say, 50 Thai baht per square meter and you own a small 30 square meter studio, you pay 1,500 baht a month. But if you own the 200 square meter penthouse...
You're paying 10,000 baht. It's proportional. The more you own, the more you pay.
Exactly. You own a bigger slice of the pie, so you contribute more to keep the bakery running.
So what's a normal range? If I'm on oceanwwp.com right now, what should I expect to see?
Sandra O'Neill and her team say the typical range for condos in Phuket is somewhere between 30 and 80 baht per square meter per month.
That is a huge spread. 30 to 80 is almost triple. Why such a big difference?
It boils down to three things: facilities, density, and age.
Okay, let's take facilities first.
That's the easy one. Does the building have a massive infinity pool, a sauna, a gym, and a shuttle bus to the beach? Or does it just have a gate and a small garden?
More toys, higher cost.
The amenities cost money to run.
Yeah.
If you want the five-star resort lifestyle, you have to pay the resort fee. That pushes you toward that 80 bat number.
Makes sense. What about density?
This is the one people miss. Economies of scale. If you have a huge complex with 500 units, the cost of that 247 security team is split 500 ways. It's cheap per person. But if you buy into an exclusive boutique project with only, say, 12 units, but you still want that same level of security and a full-time gardener, those 12 owners have to foot the entire bill.
So privacy has a premium.
A very significant one. Low density almost always means higher fees.
And finally, age.
Older buildings just get thirsty. They need more repairs. Pipes burst. Wiring gets old. So older buildings often have, or at least should have, higher fees to cover that increasing maintenance load.
Okay, I want to play devil's advocate for a minute.
Please do.
I'm looking at two properties. They look almost identical. One has a fee of 70 bahts per meter. The other is only 20. My bargain hunter brain is screaming to go for the 20 baht one. Why shouldn't I?
That right there is the trap door of real estate investing.
Explain the trap.
You have to ask why it's 20 baht. Is it because they're just incredibly efficient? Or is it because they're not actually doing anything?
They aren't funding the sinking fund, maybe?
Or they aren't treating for termites? Or they cut the security staff to a night shift only? When you see a shockingly low fee, you shouldn't think bargain. You should think deferred maintenance.
So I'm basically just buying a future problem.
You're buying a building that is slowly rotting from the inside out, and this is where we have to talk about resale value.
Okay.
When you go to sell your villa in 5 years, what sells it?
The view, the vibe.
First impressions. The buyer drives up. Is the main gate rusty? Is the landscaping dead? Is the paint peeling off the building? If the common areas look tired, that buyer immediately assumes your unit is also tired. They smell neglect, and they will lowball their offer.
So the fee is asset protection.
It's insurance on your sale price. A building with a healthy fee that looks immaculate will always get a higher price than a cheap building that looks run down. You get that money back when you sell.
That's a huge shift in perspective. It's not a cost. It's an investment in your exit strategy.
And your lifestyle. You bought in Phuket to enjoy it, not to spend your vacation arguing with a pool contractor. The fee buys you the luxury of not having to care about the mechanics.
Okay, let's get practical. I'm a listener. I'm ready to buy. What's my due diligence checklist for these fees? What do I need to ask before signing anything?
The experts point to 4 must-asks.
Hit me. Number 1.
Clarify all the inclusions. Never, ever assume.
Get it in writing.
100%. Ask, does this fee cover pest control inside my unit or just in the garden? Does it cover cleaning my private plunge pool or just the main one? You need a line item breakdown.
Okay. Number 2.
Check the management structure. Who is actually running the show?
And what are the options there?
Is it still the developer? Is it a professional outside company? Or is it a committee made up of the owners?
Is one better than the others?
Well, a professional company is usually best, but they cost more. An owner's committee, that can be a real gamble. Do you really want your neighbor who's trying to save a few pennies making the final call on when to service the elevator?
Oof. That sounds like a political mess I don't want.
It can be. So ask who's in charge.
Number 3.
Ask for the fee history. Get the minutes from the last few annual general meetings.
You can actually do that.
You absolutely should. Look at the fees. Have they been stable or have they jumped by 20% every year for the last 3 years?
And if they're jumping, that tells me.
What? It tells you they're bad at budgeting. They probably underpriced the fees to sell the units, and now reality is biting them. It's a huge red flag for financial mismanagement.
Okay, and the last one.
Audit the sinking fund. Ask them point blank, how much money is in that account right now?
Show me the balance sheet.
Exactly. If the building is 10 years old and the sinking fund has $500 in it, run. Run away.
Because something is going to break, and you're going to be the one paying for it out of pocket.
You will be left holding the bag.
This is all such actionable advice. It takes the mystery out of it. It's not just, oh, Thailand is exotic. It's, is this a well-run business?
That's it. You're buying shares in a small business that happens to operate a building. You have to check the books.
And this is why having an experienced guide matters. We mentioned Sandra O'Neill and Ocean Worldwide. This is the stuff they do, right?
This is their bread and butter. After being in that market since 2004, you know which buildings are well-run and which are financial time bombs. They aren't just selling you a pretty picture.
Invaluable.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's summarize the 3 tiers we talked about.
Right. Tier 1, the common area fees, that's the daily fuel. Security, cleaning, power.
Tier 2, maintenance.
Yeah.
The ongoing fight against the tropics, painting, pest control, gardening.
And Tier 3, the sinking fund. That's the big safety net for major repairs and emergencies.
And the big takeaway from all this.
Don't resent the fees, scrutinize them, absolutely. But you have to understand that a healthy, well-managed fee structure is the only thing standing between your luxury investment and a decaying asset.
I love that. Don't resent the fees. It's just the cost of doing business in paradise.
It is.
And if you want to see what these well-maintained properties actually look like, you should check out the source we used. Go to oceanwwp.com.
That's oceanwwp.com.
Sandra O'Neill and her team have been guiding people through this maze safely since 2004. They're the people you want in your corner.
No question.
Before we sign off, I just want to leave our listeners with one final thought.
Let's hear it.
We spend so much time filtering for the lowest price. But in real estate, especially in a place like Phuket, low cost is so often just another word for high risk.
That is very true.
So next time you see a maintenance fee that looks too good to be true, you have to ask yourself, what aren't they fixing?
The silence of a broken water pump is free right up until the moment you have to buy a new one.
Exactly. Sometimes the most expensive thing you can possibly buy is a cheap apartment. Thanks for listening to this deep dive. We'll see you next time.
Goodbye, everyone.